prove this better than one of his closest friends in the Senate, Senator Orrin Hatch. Big-time conservative, friends with a big-time liberal. Why? Can it have something to do with song? Listen to what Senator Orrin Hatch had to say about Ted Kennedy. Senator Hatch, thank you very much for joining us. So explain to me how it is that a young man named Orrin Hatch, who went to the Senate in part to fight against Ted Kennedy, wound up becoming a close friend of his.
Well, we were fighting like fighting brothers for all these years. I mean, we'd get into it on the floor and in committee really strongly, but we always made up at the end. We always laughed about it afterwards and hugged each other. And but I got to admit, the first few years were really rough.
You wrote a song called Headed Home with Bill Springer, and you really captured a lot of the concept about Ted Kennedy. We're hearing the song now underneath us, Senator. Tell me about this song. Why'd you write it, and what does it mean to you?
Well, I had a fundraiser conducted by some Democrats who supported me, and one of them was a former member of Congress, and he said, why don't you write a song for Ted Kennedy, and we'll play it at the Democratic National Convention, and it show how two guys who are so worlds apart in politics could come together and do bipartisan legislation. By the way, I wrote another song that was in Ocean's 13, the movie, that was called Souls Along the Way, and I wrote that when he married Vicki, and I remember he was mad at me. He came down and started grouching at me, and I said, hey, I wrote a song for you and Vicki, and he said, you did? Just completely changed the tone. And he listened to it, he said, I gotta have that, I gotta have that. I think it was around July 3rd that year, I get a call from Kennedy, who's out in the ocean. He said, I just played that song for Vicki, and she's crying over there. I thought, oh my goodness.
Well, Senator, I appreciate you telling us about your friend. I know you've lost a lot in him, but thank you for helping us all remember.
Well, thank you, and I hope we all do remember Teddy, because Teddy had a lot of things, many problems and trials and tribulations, but I'll tell you one thing. He was one heck of a legislator. He was one heck of a friend, like a brother to me, and I've got to say, like a fighting brother to me, but I've got to say those fights were the most memorable things about my 33 years in the United States Senate.
Our thanks to Senator Orrin Hatch for that insight into his friend and feisty colleague. Who knew that song could bring together Republicans and Democrats? Maybe that's what we need more of in Washington.